What's going on? This is Shango Ray back with a video. I believe the title of this video will be the most powerful love magic you can do. And in parentheses, I have to put in my opinion. I've been asked plenty of times, and we've kind of discussed this over the channel and different forums and stuff about, I've been asked plenty of times my opinion on love magic. Is it wrong? Blah, 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 blah. And I personally don't subscribe to like right or wrong. I think right or wrong is very a subjective thing. But I would like to share a slice of my experience. Before I do, I just have to say we're going to be talking and discussing love, lust, attraction, magic, all that for the next week and a half. We're building up to our 2021 Valentine's Day love, lust, in luck ritual. It's going down. Doors are open. Thank you to all the individuals who have already joined, who are smart enough to just jump on this right now, who found their own reasons to do it. Like I said, the energy around this is crazy in a beautiful way. We're truly going to be working with that love, attraction, passion, frequency. Having said that, you can go to shango-ray.com, sign up now, join, enter now, or bordasbrujabotique.com, enter now. Links in the description box. But I wanted to discuss some things because, for one, let's touch on the definition of magic. Okay, the definition of magic. Well, one definition I would say, what magic is really is just manipulating energy. That's all it is. Doesn't matter what it's for, it's manipulating energy. Some people have a problem with that word manipulating, but we do it all the time. We manipulate and we get manipulated all the time. You manipulate your kids, to go to bed at a certain time or to do their homework, or, men and women manipulate each other all the time. You know what I'm saying? If I'm trying to get something cooking, I might come out the bathroom with my shirt off or a wife beater or something. Like, I know how to stir the pot, that could be said it's a form of manipulation. Another example too would be like if you're having communication problems, you prove to whoever you're talking to that you can shut the hell up and actually listen. So you manipulate your own behavior to manipulate them to share whatever it is they have to say. You know what I mean? To create that space or whatever. All these are different forms of manipulation. I think one of the key things that goes wrong in love magic, so to speak, or a lot of times love magic is also thrown in the same category as like domination magic, and stuff like that. I think a key thing that must be present is an ability to be honest with yourself and honest about why you're actually doing the ritual in the first place. There's the surface level, oh, I want this person, and there's nothing, let me clarify, I don't believe there's anything wrong in doing love magic to get somebody, we do manipulation magic all the time. A lot of you women fucking take a half hour to put your face on and shit. That's sorcery. You know what I'm saying? Makeup is actually based in occulteric sciences. It started off as an occulteric ritualistic thing. And, whether you're talking about glamour magic or whatever, you are trying to seduce and entice people. So I would say also we need to look at the why. And once we find our why, go below that and find the real, authentic why. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are using love magic or rituals because they may be addicted to somebody. And what they're actually addicted to is the way they feel around this person. They then prescribe the feeling to this person. And it's like, you can only get this feeling from this person, when the truth of the matter is nobody can make you feel anything. You determine at the end of the day, whether you know it or not, how you feel. And so this other person becomes like a crutch, a codependency, a dopamine high, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? They become a permission slip for the other party to feel a certain way. So having said that, before Bora and I met, maybe about 2 months before, I did a ritual. I did a ritual. And at that time, I was in a particular relationship it was pretty much ending, and it was almost to the point, I don't remember exactly if it had happened already, but I'd already said, like, at this particular date, I'm moving out and all this stuff like that. And what I ended up doing was I would do all my work and stuff in the garage, and I I wrote down all the characteristics, personality traits, you know, even physical attributes. I was very specific on a lot of what I wanted in this woman, or in a woman, or in women, to be honest with you, because I was leaving the door open for multiples, you know what I'm saying? Because I was just getting out of a relationship that was kind of turning into hell on earth. And the writing's on the wall, when it's over. And the last thing in the world that I fucking wanted was a relationship, and I wasn't thinking about no love. I just wanted a cool connection, or connections. So I wrote all that shit down. And then I also wrote down what my deal breakers were, what I'm not even going to look twice at. You can have all the shit I want, but if you got one of my deal breakers, that's going to sour everything. There's only so long you can ignore your deal breakers, whether you know them or not. So my particular ritual involved playing cards and stuff like that. So I ended up doing my ritual. And after that, forgot about it. Totally forgot about it. Well, a month or two later, that's when Bora and I actually met at her place of business. And, when we actually did meet, like I said, that electricity, it was like some quantum atomic particles, just something happened. And it was so much of a something happened that, like I said, people all around us we're just I thought we were just two inconspicuous individuals having a conversation in this huge store, and all of her coworkers the next day was like, who's that? And like, what's going on? And, and all this other stuff. And so, we ended up eventually getting to talk a lot. And it was later on revealed to me that around the same time I did my ritual, she did a ritual. And her ritual was very similar to mine. However, in her ritual, she used tarot cards, right? In mine, I used playing cards. And her ritual, though, was not to try and get a specific person. She listed out the qualities that she desired. Now, a lot of times when it comes to magic, I will go back, I will look back, and I will see, well, what did I do there? What was I doing? What didn't I do? What was my state? What was my mind at? What happened with this one over here? What did I do here? And one thing that I discovered when looking back at that, number one, neither of us actually said we want love and all this other stuff. Like I said, me personally, consciously, I wasn't trying to be in no type of exclusive relationship. The L word was the last thing on my list, and I wasn't tripping. But in looking back, I can see how powerful it was, because on one hand, the rituals were very, and mind you, her ritual and we're using some of these templates in this Valentine's Day ritual. Obviously, we can't do everything exactly the same because these were isolated and very particular to each one of us. But what I realized was I do notice a difference, right? There was, you always hear when you're doing magic to be very specific. Well, I was very specific in one way, and paradoxically, I was very general. I left the door open to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many who can fit this bill. at the same, she actually wasn't trying to do magic or get one particular person. She just was reached a point in her life where she realized what it is that she truly wanted. Now, when I look at her and her experience, first of all, the ritual just like almost possessed her. It came over her and it was just like it channeled through. It was just an instantaneous knowing, an instantaneous download, unpacking, boom. She usually writes down when she makes oils, when she does all kinds of other stuff. She always, writes down what she does and stuff like that. In this case, she didn't write down exactly what it was. It was like this, she just got caught up in the flow and just flowed with it. It was like a straight up instant download, a knowing. And but what she also did was she was coming from a place of pure authenticity and desire as far as what she wanted in a man. Likewise, for myself, this was just, it was unfettered by any bullshit. It wasn't trying to cover up any insufficiencies that I felt I had, or anything I felt like I was. It wasn't coming from that place. It was like, it was about strictly desire. Like, this is what I want. That's one thing we both had in common with our rituals. And surprisingly, to find out, her ritual took place right around the same time I did. And we ended up, like I said, meeting. And then once like, when like it's like, it's so palatable. It's like, you can't deny it, one of them type of things. Not that I was looking for that. I was not looking for that. If you would have told me about any type of love shit, relationship, or any twin flame bullshit or whatever, I would have tore ass in the other direction, straight up. But when you're doing it in that way, there's a sense of control. See, when people do love magic, a lot of times it's for one particular person, like I said, which is okay, but you got to really be honest with yourself as to your motivations. If you're doing it from fear, if you're doing it from all this other stuff, you got to remember something. When you're doing magic, there's the intention, right? This is what I want, right? This is what I want. But underneath that are your intentions. And then under your intentions are the real, authentic, true why. And a lot of times that includes the good, gorgeous, and the ugly. So whatever little traumas and other issues you may have that are simmering under the surface, that shit's going to be brought up along with everything else in the ritual. And that is why many have mixed match or even horrible results. I would say sometimes, at the very least, if nothing happens, then you got off quite easy. Because unless you're coming from a place of pure authenticity of your desire, you don't know what else you might get with that. Or the results could be very, very mixed matched in a way that you're not going to like. I was the same. My ritual wasn't even actually about love or anything, like I said. But because it wasn't, what I was very specific about, though, unbeknownst to me at the time, would be the personalities, qualities, and traits of a person, of a woman, in which a relationship with this person could facilitate love. Once again, that's not even what I was on. I wasn't on that shit. And the same with her. I did also notice too, doing it that way took a lot of pressure off. Depending on how you approach a ritual to get a specific person, you're either going to get in your way all throughout. You're going to be all left feet all throughout, or you're going to be able to do the shit, do it right, and let it flow. And know and trust and be confident in your outcome. You have to be able to know and trust in your outcome, first of all, in the first place, in order to even let it go. Because if you find yourself constantly, you keep fucking digging up the seed, you keep opening up the oven. Is it done yet? Is it done yet? You're not trusting shit. You're still shooting your fucking clit off, and not in the way that you want. You're still stepping on your dick. You know what I'm saying? Tripping on your dick. It's like you're not getting in your own way. And when I said I forgot about it, I totally forgot about it until after we met and after hours and hours and hours and hours of conversation. And then, of course, I looked back afterwards and, just looked at how everything. Now, truth be told, I know who she is to me in the spirit and in all that other shit. So there's a good chance that you could have dropped me off in Siberia and somehow, some way we would have met. But who's to say? This is how we met. See, when it comes to magic, remember another thing. There's an old axiom. It's actually an occulteric. It's actually an occult axiom. But most people don't see it like that. It's that the axiom is this: when you pray, you don't change God, you change yourself. That's a very esoteric axiom. When you're doing magic, a lot of times I'm going to be bold enough to just say, I don't even think it's the ritual that actually changes it. The ritual is just one step in a series or a process of expressing your true, authentic desire for something. And in that, you are actually becoming somebody else. Now, most people will attribute it just to the ritual. And yes, the ritual does have its place, but the ritual is an aspect of that expression. The ritual is actually changing you to get you ready because it's already there waiting for you. When I was in that other relationship, there'd be plenty of times I go out to the garage because I do all my ritual work, everything in the garage. And I didn't want to be in the house, And I remember always thinking, man, there's a bad bitch coming my way. I just know it. And I would sometimes be like, and it's not like I was pining over it or anything, but I just, like, I feel it. I'm like, I know you're around here somewhere. So go ahead and show us so we can get this thing cooking, And because I'm a very choosy, selective person. I don't just, And needless to say, all that time that even that was happening, she was less than a mile away from me, And it was right there. But until I was ready for that meeting, that cosmic whang, bang, everything has a divine timing. If I told you it was going to take a year for you to get that ideal lover from a ritual we're doing right now, would you still do the ritual? Or would you be so impatient and so caught up in time and worried about time? When there's a lot of times there's a preparation for things to actually materialize. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a whole bunch of different things that you know not of that needs to be, that are going on even now. Even in preparation for this ritual is a part of the process. The ritual, once again, is just a step, but the ritual is also an expression. It reminds me like when I was a kid and I'd want a certain toy, but it was too expensive and I couldn't have it. But there was this desire, this raw desire for it, So I would immediately, instinctively, I would either get my Legos and create a version of the toy, or me and my sister would draw the toy out on paper and cut it out, and we would play with these paper cutouts. And then shortly after, somehow, some way, we'd get the toys, or whatever toys we wanted that we were pining over. But in that moment, it's like that tension needed a resolution. So even though I didn't have the actual Voltron with the lions, the die-cast one, joint like this, I made my own out of Legos. And we played for hours and had fun with that shit. That could be called another form of sympathetic magic. To me, that's sympathetic magic at its best. But I just wanted to give you some points to think about. If y'all are interested in actually the full Bora and Shango story and how the occult sciences plays a huge part in our relationship even up to now, and just how we met and for more details and everything, drop a comment in the comment box and I'll consider making a video just related to that, so you can relate to what I'm saying through story form. All right? Infernal blessings. Rock out with your sock out.